that would be appreciated at this point forward. And with that in mind, it's time that we start reacting to this video and see what High Impact Flicks has to say about it.
In regard to politics, you may have a different animal, but you'll always be stuck with the same shit. You know what? Truth is truth, even if no one believes it. And lies, well, they're still lies, even if everyone believes it. If you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, and share it with everybody you know.
They do have nuclear weapons. They are being backed by China. They are a real threat. They are firing missiles right over Japan. They can test weapons, but doing it in this way, threatening preemptively to blow up the U.S., to say it's inevitable, that's pointing a gun at us and really next level bravado. It's incredible chicken.
Before I start this video, I just want to say that as much as I despise Hillary Clinton or any puppet politician for all their corruption, lies, and downright evil ways, as much as I disagree with and can't stand CNN or the Young Turks or any of the mainstream media talking heads promoting the corporate agenda to destroy America, if a truth is spoken through any one of those people or outlets, to deny that truth because of who spoke it is to reveal that you're really not interested in accepting the truth at all. If you only accept truth from those you believe are known for telling the truth, then you set yourself up for accepting lies. See, truth is truth, even if it accidentally falls out of the mouths of those who are accustomed to telling lies. And lies, well, they're still lies, even if they come out of the mouths of those you believe to be telling the truth. Many people view Alex Jones as a hard-working truth teller who exposes globalists, runs contrary to mainstream ideologies, and brings the unvarnished facts to a thirsty public. In this interview with Ron Paul, it's very easy to see where Jones' devotions lie in regard to neocon authoritarian ideologies.
That said, I agree with you in practice and function, but even people like Joel Skousen that agreed with you about not having a war, in the last 5 or 6, saying they were frauds. He says when you get down to North Korea now, they do have nuclear weapons. They are being backed by China. They are a real threat. They are firing missiles right over Japan. They can test weapons, but doing it in this way, threatening preemptively to blow up the U.S., to say it's inevitable, that's pointing a gun at us and really next level bravado. It's incredible chicken.
Now understand what Jones is saying here. He's saying there's a real threat, a boogeyman, North Korea, a bad guy with a gun threatening our lives. And he's about to go on and say, therefore, we need to do something to put down this threat.
And then you have the Clintons, as you know.
And I wonder why he actually said that. I totally wonder why that's the case. You know, here's my opinion on this one. I do think that there is a possibility of a threat, but unfortunately, I think he's exaggerated quite a lot. Now, do I consider China or Russia or Iran an enemy? No. Maybe back when I was younger, yes, but looking at the whole truth beyond this status system, they're not really a threat at all. If anything, they never threatened us with war. Not even North Korea either. So, who's actually threatening the war? We are. And why is that? Because of what happened in World War II. We say there will never be a genocide of this massive scale, and look where we are. There's genocide this, genocide that, corruption that. It never ends. Guess who's doing it? We did. And look, as much as I would like to see America succeed and become the dominant force, we've been doing it the wrong way the whole time. We're supposed to be neutral. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video, is why I stayed neutral. One is that we have to stop interfering. Number two is that we have to look for allies that actually are like-minded. And three is to come back to our roots. And that's why I became neutral. I mean, look at Switzerland, for example. Do you think Switzerland is actually going to be waging war against us? No, because they remain neutral for a reason. You know why that is? It's because they just don't want anything to happen to them. And look, if I was Switzerland, I wouldn't blame them either. I wouldn't blame them at all. Because let's be fair, Switzerland takes care of Switzerland. And for 200 plus years, they've done a good job. And we should actually take note from Switzerland. And yeah, of course, there are corrupt people that go there too, and there are innocent people that go there. You know what these two have in common? They believe that Switzerland is going to work for them. So we need to get back to the base of just being neutral and staying out of affairs. And Washington warned us about it almost 300 years ago. And did anybody listen to him at that time? Hell no. They didn't listen to him at all. And years later, he was right all along. And guess what else he warned about? Political parties. And he was an independent for a reason. He was the first independent president of the United States. He's the first one. And after that, political parties have been formed, and they ignored his warnings. So, as Americans, we got to take Washington's advice. No, I'm not talking about DC. I'm talking about the first president of the United States. Yeah, he's done some crazy shit, but guess what? He was a good leader. And that's what actually matters at this point.
Transferring the reactors, transferring the missiles in the mid-90s that you and others criticized when you first got back into Congress. And so there's a lot of blame going around here. And then you just have the horrible little communist third-generation dictator fat off the blood of his little skinny citizens. I agree with you, the poor, North Korean slaves and their children.
That's
I feel
sad.
sorry for them. I don't want to have to, nuke the DMZ.
Jones is actually suggesting launching nukes against the demilitarized
That's
zone,
a horrible
which
idea.
would kill God knows how many people. He's saying, I don't want to have to do it, but I think we should to get rid of the fat little dictator.
But if they do strike us first, I think they may be crazy enough to do it, then it's going to take a major commitment to make sure they can't counter-respond.
What he's saying is, if North Korea attacks us, it's going to take a major commitment on our part to make sure they can't counter-respond. He's actually entertaining a nuclear attack. Now, this is strike one for Jones in this interview. Listen to Ron Paul's rebuke of Jones' misguided and authoritarian approach.
You're buying into all the garbage that's passed out there by the deep state and neoconservatives and the media.
This is a huge slam against Jones, who's, at least in his own mind, a defender against the deep state, the neocons, and the dishonest media. Ron Paul is basically saying, Alex, you're acting as a mouthpiece for the people you're constantly criticizing.
My suggestion very clearly on what we should do is we should allow the South Koreans to talk to the North Koreans. What's
I agree.
wrong with that? They're the ones that have everything at stake, and we don't even allow them to do that. And yet they're willing to. Just last week, the South Koreans, in an effort to break this conflict, they sent a couple $1 million to North Korea to take care of some of the people, the kids that are suffering from our sanctions.
While Paul's trying to make a serious point as he rebukes Jones, Alex draws this thought balloon above Kim Jong-un's head that says food. It's almost like he doesn't want to listen to a well-deserved rebuke.
The people suffer. We kill people. We killed almost 1 million Iraqis with our sanctions before we went to war. And all these sanctions do is just...
That's actually accurate.
And this is true, guys. Whenever you hear the word sanctions...
And it proved my point. We're the one that is waging all of this sanctions and wars. Who didn't do that? The enemies that we thought are enemies, when in fact, they are our closest friends. And look, I'm not trying to say that their government is innocent and blah, blah, blah. No, that's not the point. The point is they're not what we thought they are, especially with the, what is it called? The Middle East crisis or whatever it is since, 1989 or 2001. 9/11 was an example of what happens when an out-of-budget government becomes corrupt. And guess what? A crisis happened. I think Ron Paul was right. And by the way, the main reason why Ron Paul is right is because we've killed innocent people before we went to war, aka sanctions and being stupid. And let's be fair, the only reason why I remain neutral is because politics is violence. And guess who else believes in it? Brian Young of High Impact Flicks, which now he has 2 other channels. The main reason why I agree with him is because he is here for the truth, and that's what every American should strive for, is the truth and putting our country first, as any normal citizen would. But since our elections are just selections at this point, which they technically are at this point, it's complicated, to say the least. But the truth is that our system is old. Is it outdated? Absolutely. But not in the way that a leftist or a rightist would say, but in a way that an American would say. I think it's about time that in 2026 we take a good look of who is leading the country. And with that in mind, let's get back to the video.
Sanctions. We just need to equate it with what it really is. It's a provocation to war.
We need to allow. Why do we prohibit the South Koreans from talking to the North Koreans?
By the way, Madeleine Albright.
We did that in Vietnam, and the French and Americans did that. And millions
don't do it.
Sure. I mean, it's like Madeleine Albright said, 500,000 Iraqi children is a good price to pay with the sanctions. It's probably way over 1 million. Lancet, British Medical Journal, said it was like 1.3 back in like 2007.
You're sure about that?
Going back to 1990.
This was a dodge on Jones' part and wasn't even Paul's main point. The point is that Alex is trying to beat the war drums when diplomacy and leaving people the hell alone unless they strike us first is what we should be doing. Alex is proposing there's a boogeyman and we need to go and take him out.
And understand,
that's what he would say.
I'm just wargaming both sides of the debate. I've not
that's
bought
what Jones would say.
To the garbage that we need to have a war or that sanctions are always the best thing.
That's not true at all. Jones was parroting neocon talking points. He got caught and he got called out on it. Now he's backpedaling.
As you said, Vietnam now loves us, hates communist China, is becoming a free market powerhouse, and we should have made a deal with Ho Chi Minh to go in there and be free market to begin with, but we double-crossed him, tried to overthrow him, as you know, back in 1960. So I understand the history of it as you do as a former Air Force officer. The only thing I'm getting at here is that we can certainly recognize communist regimes are also horrible evils.
Take the golden pill, and the revolution is now.
I mean, certainly,
and you're certainly not taking it. This is a great
example.
You know who did?
Communism's a horrible nightmare like Venezuela.
Well, I still think that you're seeing them as a much greater threat. And when I was drafted in 1962 over the Cuban crisis, you know, there was a real hot Cold War going on at the time. But we had danger then. The Soviets had 30,000 nuclear missiles and weapons. But we didn't provoke or thought we had to get rid of them. We actually dealt with them. Kennedy talked to them. And, you know,
dealt with it as adults.
If you enjoy videos like this, and you're actually interested in videos like this one that just happened recently, do me a favor, like and share and comment down below and subscribe to this channel right here and right now. With that in mind, I'll see you in the next video, Innovator.